We're back on the record. Ms. Ganesh, you may proceed.
So, Mr. Stalter, when you talked to the police on June 9th of 2015, you never identified anyone that was inside the vehicle. Is that accurate?
No, ma'am.
And you would describe the person in the passenger side of this SUV as a Hispanic, right?
Thin male, short hair. I never said Hispanic that I remember.
Okay. So as far as you go as thin male with short hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Black hair?
Dark hair.
Any tattoos?
Not that I remember seeing that night.
And your recollection is that you saw just the face of this person, right?
Yes.
Because the person was seated and you were seeing them in the mirror as the car is
I
leaving.
didn't see anybody in the mirror. I
I'm
saw
sorry.
him face to face.
Face to face as the car was leaving.
Yes.
And so you saw from basically what? The neck up?
Chest up.
Chest up? And when you say chest, are you talking about nipple level or higher?
Nipple level, I guess.
Okay. And the passenger is facing forward or facing you?
Facing forward.
So you're seeing the profile, is that accurate?
Little more than profile. Like I'm looking at you.
Okay. And do you see any other Hispanic males sitting in the courtroom today at counsel table with, or let me say, males in the courtroom with short black hair charged with murder besides Mr. Romero who's sitting at counsel table?
No.
Now, you described Officer Benner as a nice guy, a guy that bought a four-wheeler from you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you had spent some time in your garage together talking when he bought the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
And you liked the guy.
Nice guy.
And you tried to help him on this day when he was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're trying to help him today as well, aren't you?
Just trying to be straight up.
And in fact, when you talked about what you saw that day, it caused an emotional reaction in you, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, you recall when you were at the Arby's drive-through window that though you couldn't specifically hear what the female driver was saying, you described her manner of talking as argumentative, right?
The volume went up.
And
Yeah. Yes.
it was her volume that went up, right?
Both her and Officer Benner.
And in fact, you recall that both she and Officer Benner were raising their voice and talking at the same time.
Back and forth, I wouldn't say at the same time.
And that the female was arguing with Officer Benner.
It sounded like it.
You never saw who shot Officer Benner, correct?
I did not see the person pull the trigger, no ma'am.
You never saw anyone holding a gun?
No, I did not.
have a moment, Your Honor? And isn't it true, Mr. Salter, that you saw the female, the woman that had been driving the SUV, outside of the SUV when the shots were fired?
No, I didn't see her.
You didn't see her outside the SUV?
No, ma'am.
Isn't it accurate that you indicated to law enforcement that when Officer Benner collapsed, you saw the lady from the SUV standing by the SUV?
No, I did not.
Do you recall stating to the officers during your police interview on June 9th of 2015, this is at page 18, line 16, did you see any of the suspects outside the vehicle at all? And your response was, when the officer, I told you when he came up, gun drawn, told us to get off of him, I remember turning around and I looked at the face of the lady that was driving the car, standing there saying she'd been shot. Do you recall saying that?
That was way later, yeah.
Okay,
That was not when Officer Benner collapsed.
But you saw her outside complaining about being shot?
That was way after, yes, I did.
And this female was indeed the one that had been driving the SUV, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she was telling you, as the officers were dealing with and helping Officer Benner, that she had been shot, right?
She didn't say anything to me.
You heard her saying that she had been shot.
Hearsay.
I didn't hear her say anything.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, I'm impeaching the witness at this point.
It's still hearsay.
Directly to you, you overheard the female from the SUV standing there saying she had been shot, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay. So I'll go back to your police interview, again at page 18, line 19, where you state, I'll go up to line 18, I remember turning around and I looked at the face of the lady that was driving the car, standing there saying that she was shot, and that's when I remember Ronnie helping her to the curb.
I don't remember hearing her say that she was shot.
Okay. So would you have some reason to dispute that this transcript is accurate of
No.
your statement?
No. I just don't remember hearing her say that she was shot.
Okay. So it's possible that you just forgot that information, but you remembered it at the time when you talked to law enforcement in June of last year.
I don't remember.
Do you have a moment, Norman? Pass the witness, thank you.
JD, counsel asked you if you clearly saw the female driver laughing as they drove away, correct?
That's correct.
Did you also see the male driver? The male passenger?
Yes.
And what was he doing?
They were both smiling.
Okay.
I couldn't say if they were laughing, but they were both smiling.
Now, in your pretrial interview with defense counsel, did they ever ask you if you could positively identify their client?
I don't remember.
When you got out of the car, your car, and ran up to where Officer Benner was lying in the street, from that moment forward, where was your attention focused?
On Officer Benner.
And is it possible that all of the details surrounding that incident might be not clear in your head, in your mind?
I was focused on him totally.
You were also asked some questions about your motive, I guess, for testifying and being here. Are you enjoying being here?
No, this sucks.
Why?
It's hard to watch somebody die in your hands.
Would you have rather not been there to be a witness that night?
I'm glad I was there.
Are you testifying truthfully to the best of your ability what you recall from that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any reason to lie just because you might have known Officer Benner?
No, I didn't know him that well.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Is this witness subject to recall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Who is first?